Thank you so much. As mentioned, I'm RJ, and I'm going to be running Hylics 2 for you today.
I
It's
said
a
take it away, Hylics.
oh, well, that's really the show here. Don't worry about it. I am secondary to this experience. Hylics 2 is a 2020 indie RPG. It's a turn-based RPG with some light platforming elephants. I keep doing that. I've done this every day I've streamed the game. Instead of elements, I keep saying elephants. Either way, maybe makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But we don't want to waste too much more time here. We'll just get into it and start yapping about the game. I can give a 3 count, a 3, 2, 1, go for the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Anyway, start off right with a cutscene. A lot of things are going to happen rather quickly, so just bear with me as I blurt it all out. We're going to do a very mandatory costume change, trust me, and then we always stop to pet the dog for good luck. Bless this run, young man. Thank you so much. Anyway, off onto the actual run now. Like I said, totally good strats to save time. Sometimes you gotta lose time to save time, you know what I'm saying? It's like the spend money to make money. But with dog. Yeah, totally, that is a dog. Don't ask too many questions, don't think too hard about it. Anyway, we're running to our first town here. Our main character, Wayne, is going to look for some friends to help him stop this cult from resurrecting the big bad from the first Hylics named Gibby. But we need some help to do that. So we're actually going to get our first friend here. His name is Pongorma, and he's going to give us the ability to air dash because he's a really great friend. And I'm going to pause the game for some reason. Anyway, we got him. Now we'll be air dashing all over the place, which is this thing where we kind of dash out front. Oop, wanted to land in the water there. Basically, for the first like 5-ish minutes, we're just going to be going places to do things because reasons. But anyway, so now we're headed to the second place. Oh, no. Okay, good. Falling into the water isn't a big deal, but it just wastes a little bit of time. It sends us back. Depending on where you are, it'll send you to various respawn locations. That one will take us back to Wayne's house. Anyway, so in town there, we would have found out that the leader of the town, Blelrol, he is kidnapped. We found that out via Pongorma here, and we're going to try and save him. And we're going to save him by finding more water to fall into, because that'll actually teleport us to where we need to go a little faster. We're going to grab the meat here and talk to another friend, Deduzmol, our second party member. And now we're going to try and do a skip. I'm going to pay attention for just a second here because this was probably a bad idea, actually. I'm going to do some things here. We're going to try and manipulate it. Well, this will be a little slower, but this guy is a problem. Come on down, buddy. Okay, he no longer cares. Where are you going? Stop it. All right. No! Oh, God. All right, that's okay. So we'll get to show off the death animation here. I was saving it for later, but every time you die in this game, there is no run button. You have to just do this and your face melts off. Don't you just hate it? But anyway, we're gonna try that again, but unfortunately we're gonna have to go back to Wayne's house to get there. It is what it is. We're trying to do a big a skip there, and unfortunately that enemy just kind of wanders. A lot of the enemies in this game move in a predictable like cycle pattern. That is one of the very few enemies that do not. So he could be basically in the way at all times, and of course, if it can be in the way, it will be in the way. So we're going back to our friend Deduzmol's canoe. It wouldn't be a run of Hylics without this guy just being totally in the way. All right, we're gonna do a little different here. I'm gonna make a save, and then I'm gonna load that save. That'll manipulate the guy into being into a different place. And then we're gonna go here. So that's what it was supposed to look like. We'll ignore everything else that happened so far. That was the leader of the town we were looking for. His name is Blelrol. We'll go talk to him in a second. But first, we've been doing a lot. It's time to clean up in the sink and grab a refreshing juice beverage from the basement. all important things. Clean is a status in the game, and it basically allows you to not be able to get statuses put onto you for a turn. It'll be pretty relevant when we actually get into fights, which I promise is coming soon. But anyway, now that we rescued our leader of this town, we need to make a quick detour before we go see him. Look at these nice little residents bopping all over the place. We're gonna jump in this hole, get the slow fall, that's okay. And go talk to this very diligent worker down here. We're gonna give him the juice we got in the basement. He's gonna give us a key to his house. Pretty good trade, I think. Juice for a house. But what's actually really important about being able to go into this house, it gives us our first skill of the game, our first gesture as they're referred to, and you'll see why they might be called gestures once we get into combat. This move's called Soul Crisper, and what it does is it allows us to put like a burning status, burning damage over time move onto all of the enemies we use it on. And it is very important to help us get through a lot of the fights. But now we're going to talk to this guy, but first I need to set up a cutscene skip. We're going to save, we're going to open that menu, and then we're going to click back on the menu behind it. We're going to load that save. Now we're going to open a menu. We're going to open a bunch of other menus at the same time. We're basically just storing all this. And now we can talk to him. We'll click to this, go through the dialogue. We need to make a save at a specific spot, which is right here. All right, now we're going to actually open the menu. And since we had that stored, it allows us to open the menu mid-cutscene and load the save to right after. It saves us about like 50 seconds. So the cutscenes of this game are obviously very entertaining and interesting, as is the rest of the game, but watching them isn't very fast. We're going to make another save real quick and another load. This is to manipulate our spawn point. This mini crystal that we have repeatedly used so far is a very important item for the run for us. It allows us to reset our spawn point to 2 different places, wherever it is in the level we're currently in, and Wayne's house all the way back at the beginning, in case you get stuck places in the game. But we use it to our advantage in the run. And now we've actually used that mini crystal to help us jump and skip into an area that we shouldn't be able to get into until basically the end of the game, to get a lot of money and a few very powerful items. And then we're gonna jump out here, grab another item, and launch ourselves out into the abyss. We're actually trying to get to a shop that's over here. And we're gonna buy 2 of these items. Please buy. There we go. Grab this chest, and we're going to do a quick menu for equipment. Anytime I'm doing a menu for equipment in here, it happens rather quick, and it's kind of just jostling random words around, basically. So all you need to know about the equipment menus is that I'm jostling them around so that the speeds are at the numbers I want to go before the bosses we're going to fight, and that the damage is as much as I can put out that I think I can. But one thing that we got from talking to the leader of the town, he actually gave us his keys to his airship, which will allow us to go to other places. And we're going to go look for our final friend at a farm. Just headed up. We do have a few minutes of chill before we get into the fight, if there's anything you'd like to say.
Sure thing. We do have a donation for $15 from Brutely that says, link that worm's mollusk, RJ. Also something Oregon Fort, Oregon Fort.
Yeah, it's like the Oregon Trail, but Oregon Fort.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Brutely. And then, just a few things. Remember why we're all here, for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Just a little thing about them. Established in 1987, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is a voluntary health organization that gives those affected by suicide a nationwide community empowered by research, education and advocacy to take action against this leading cause of death. AFSP is dedicated to saving lives and bringing hope to those affected by suicide, including those who have experienced the loss. To find out more or to learn more about AFSP, visit afsp.org.
So we're very deep into the very first combat here. Actually, it's over already. It's just like that. If you didn't notice, we're basically just taking all of the skills, the damage over time skills, the Soul Crisper, and one that Wayne starts with, and applying them. That fight is interesting in the sense that the enemy all the way to the right, the red furry guy, he puts everybody to sleep when you get hit. And one of the ways to mitigate time loss in this game, or to save time, I guess is a better way of putting it, is to make sure things don't get turns. So if we can put all of the enemies to sleep, they don't get any animations, they don't take any turns, it helps speed the fight up quite a bit. And just like that, we have our fourth party member too. Her name is Samsnosa. And now we have the whole gang. The squad's all here. And now we can actually go try and stop this cult from resurrecting the big bad. But first we have to make a detour at this generator to turn off a shield that's protecting the island they're on. This facility is interesting in the fact that the paths do not start showing up until you're running on them. Fortunately, the paths are the same every single time, so we just have to remember when they're, or where they will be when they show up, but we don't need to know exactly where we're going. Or we don't need to know where, or be able to see them, I guess, to get through this. Just take some practice. This isn't exactly the most stellar showing running through. It's very easy to get caught on like diagonal corners and things like this in this game. It only has like an 8-point turning, what am I trying to say, movement options with the joystick here. But just like that, we're already through the maze and we're about to fight our next boss here. But before I do that, I need to make another storage. There'll be a cutscene after this that we want to skip, so I need to be careful. I need to hold this storage menu through the entire fight. If I don't, or if I mash too much, I will actually open it up and we'll have to watch the cutscene, which isn't the end of the world, just a little slower. But I'm gonna do my best to not overmash here. But this is the worm boss, as I call it, or the Fonthentropine, as it's actually called. It's a mouthful. It starts its turns off the exact same way. It is also the most sus boss in the entire run. There is a strong chance that we could die here. There's just no way around the thing we want to do unless we want to waste a lot of time being preventative. So we're just going to hope it works out for us. If not, I do have a backup save. But why this boss is so scary is it's about to put us to sleep, and we're hoping it wakes us up without just killing everybody or continually putting us to sleep. So let's see what it does. This is the turn that matters. Okay, so if it hits somebody else, we'll be fine. All right, we should be in there. Nice. We needed that after the fight we got into. So what we're gonna do is re-up our Soul Crisper, our damage over time effects. They do run out after a while. And we should be in there. It'll die on the next. Oh, there I did it again. So we'll have to watch the cutscene. I do this every time. I get to the end and I just like, hey, I'll just start mashing like a mad person, and then I forget to skip the cutscene. But that's all right. The most important thing is that we got through that fight without having to do it more than once. This cutscene skip is pretty interesting though, because you have to do it without being able to see the menu. So unfortunately, I can't show that off. But it's no big deal. It's the shortest cutscene that we skip, so it doesn't add too much time to have to watch. There's one later that we need to be more careful about. Here we go. It's been a long day so far. We're gonna go clean up again and be off on our way. Hygiene is important. If anything, if this run tells us anything, that being cleanly is key to success. No. Whoops. So one thing you'll notice maybe about the ground here is that since these are scanned, all of the terrain and stuff. Oh wait, I don't have to do that. Just muscle memorying it. The terrain that we're walking on in all of the levels are hand molded, hand sculpted clay models that are scanned into Unity here. And that comes with the unevenness of just hand molded clay. So sometimes when you're running, you'll kind of like launch off the ground a little bit and you won't be able to get the jump you want, which is what happened to me there. And I kind of rolled off into the water instead of dashing to the ship. Whoops. Let me off, let me off, let me off. There we go. So the thing about the airship, you can't just land it anywhere. You have to land it on these landing pads. And those are the only spots. Okay, I had to tweak there a little bit so we could tweak the movement. We cannot land wherever we want. We could only land on those specific places. And we're into our next dungeon area. This is called Fog Last. Has a whole bunch of traveling back and forth, following these wires around and whatnot. We're not going to do any of that. There's actually a nice little sequence break for this area where we could just skip the whole thing and go to the end. It involves mini crystal jumping, as is most of the tech in this game. Saving, loading the save that manipulates our spawn point, allows us. We're going to land flat. You have to land flat. That's important. So when you use the mini crystal, it'll think we're still in the air, but it'll also think we're on the ground temporarily and allows us to jump in midair so we can get extra distance to kind of skip that whole bridge. I'm going to go down here. There is a button down here that we do need to press. We're going to go press that after we grab another piece of equipment to increase our power. Push the button and do a quick menu. So we get this. We're going to apply these items called muscle appliques. I almost used them on the wrong person. What it does is it just adds a little bit extra attack, 1 attack per muscle applique. And then we're going to use the mini crystal again to get us back outside because it's faster than leaving the normal way. And just like that, we're already going to be at our next boss here. Let's give him a slap. This is Odazir and Karsuro, our only double person battle. And you'll notice a mechanic. You'll notice something right away and how this fight works. Karsuro has some armor, and when he gets hit, he becomes unwrapped and turns into Spaghetti Man. And that's the only time we could do damage to him is when he's Spaghetti Guy. Fortunately for us, when Karsuro is unwrapped here, he does the same 2 attacks. And Odazir here has to spend his turn re-wrapping him until Karsuro is dead. So we're going to kind of use this to our advantage. I'm going to kind of YOLO a safe strat that I was workshopping and see how it works out for us. So we're going to spend a little bit of time hitting Karsuro down. Karsuro, they're both very dangerous enemies, honestly. And now from here on out, we're just going to hope that Karsuro doesn't target the same person for multiple turns. We're going to start putting some damage over time effects on Odazir here to kind of whittle him down while we're working on Karsuro. Who's he attacking? Well, he attacked Pongorma. So Pongorma is dead again. No, not really the end of the world, hopefully. We'll definitely just take our time, make sure that we can get through this fight. We're going to focus on Karsuro, try to get him down here. He should die from this Soul Crisper that we're going to add up with the Disillusion damage over time damage. I didn't actually talk about Disillusion yet. Kisses. Well, this guy likes us so much, he's giving us kisses. This actually isn't too bad. It only does about 30 damage to everybody. Okay, let's re-up some stuff here. Odazir still has quite a bit of health, which is a little scary. But we should be able to see this through. I hope. We're gonna heal when we need to. Wayne's gonna die here, which is fine. I'm actually going to heal Samsnosa back up to full health, so hopefully we could get through this. He does, like I said, he does have a lot of health still. It should be difficult for him to kill us. Like okay, this is fine. And he's dead. Nice. Not the fastest fight ever, but we're through. All right, and then immediately after this, we need to go right into another fight, which is pretty scary. But we need to do some menu storage again. All right, so we're trying to hold this through the fight. What's important about this fight is that the boss doesn't use a move called Redivis as soon as the fight starts, or for his first move, where he throws a stick of dynamite at us. If he does, it's really bad. Really, really bad. So hopefully we don't see it. But unfortunately, this means we're too late. This is Gibby, and he was resurrected before we could stop them. All right, be careful not to lose the menu. We're going to start off with just a round of snaps and see what he does. Again, we don't want to see the dynamite. Of course. Yeah, of course. He uses Redivisit every time, every marathon. I don't even know why I bother. So this move is extremely extra, at least. It's kind of fun to watch. It's like, okay, game, we get it. We're going to die. Well. Anyway, I'm just kidding. We don't actually get to win that fight. We get to just leave. That's supposed to happen. Sorry. Sorry to scare anybody, potentially. I like to have a little fun with it. So we're off on our way. We're going to go back and get our ship and go to the next area, which means we have a little bit of time if there's anything we'd like to talk about.
Sure thing. We do have a $15 donation that came in from Rafi. Says, just showing some love and supporting such a great cause. Keep it up and looking forward for the games that will be played. Thank you, Rafi. You'll be hearing Rafi later on as one of our hosts. And then as far as goes, looking forward to other games that will be played, there's some polls and some donation incentives that you can check out when you're doing donations, like we had before with Devil May Cry, the costume, alternate costume in Devil May Cry 4. There's also in the Haunting Grounds run later today, there's a Make the Golem Dance, and I think everyone wants to see the Make the Golem Dance. And then, of course, there's as well the Save the Dog in Resident Evil 4, which will be closing the marathon on Sunday with Yasi. So check those out. And then there's a bunch of polls for a secret ending in Manifold Garden, what we do with Leon in Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, Mario's outfit in Mario Odyssey, and Desert Eagle's run of BS Legend of Zelda. You can play as either a boy or a girl. So with your donations, you can choose what happens in a bunch of these games later on and affect those runs. And then, of course, obviously the prizes that you've seen on screen, you can donate to those, the Sonic the Hedgehog plush, the Pokemon cards, the Chester Bennington painting, and of course the Nintendo Switch 2 bundle. So yeah, back to you, RJ.
So you probably noticed that I ran into an enemy and died again. I did that on purpose this time, I promise. We actually want to go to the afterlife. This game is interesting. It doesn't have a game over screen. Every time you die, you come to the afterlife here. You can do a couple of things. In the afterlife, you can get clean, you could find some items, and then you could also increase your HP by using the meat of all of the enemies we've defeated so far. I am not joking. So I do that it's not typical of a normal any percent route, but it does make this fight incredibly safe to do it. Normally, I hope I only have to show off the death animation one time in that specific instance. That wasn't the case today, but so yeah, so we took a little detour just to make this final boss. I want to say free without cursing myself, but it should be free. Yeah, we did. So used to just doing these things. We have done a couple of sequence breaks. This is a Hylics Xylem, the last dungeon of the game. It has a bunch of... It's pretty big. It has a lot of areas you could go to, keys to get, places to open. But we can use the mini crystal to manipulate our spawn points. We could jump over ledges and whatnot. And now I'm just going to try and make sure we don't run into anything. All right, we should be all right. I can't tell you how many enemies have ruined, how that last guy has ruined so many runs. All right, just take a quick peek at our stuff here. It looks good. Use our trampoline to get here to the boss. Nice. We got the spins. If you talk to him while you're air dashing, everybody just keeps spinning. It's just kind of funny. I like it. And we're about to go into our last boss with the final boss, Gibby here. We're gonna start by using this item called the Dubious Berry. We picked it up a long time ago. We didn't actually get to talk about it. But what it does is heals 40 damage, but it also puts poison status. We don't really care about the healing. We want to put the poison on Gibby, because we want the damage over time. Because if you haven't noticed yet, Gibby has a lot of health. So all of the extra damage we can get is crucial. So we'll put our 3 damage of effects on: our poison, our disillusion, our burning. We didn't talk about dissolute. I think I tried to and then got interrupted by something goofy happening. Disillusion is a skill that comes on Wayne naturally. It's a damage over time skill, but it also reduces the enemy's attack by 20%, which is incredibly relevant for the way I do this fight in the safety strats. So Gibby has basically a two cycle attack pattern that he's going to do. He's going to do that teardown attack, and then on the second turn, he's going to do this move coming up that we'll see very shortly called Killer Trees. Killer Trees is good for us, if you could imagine, because as you see, every time we hit Gibby, he spawns a minion. But when he uses Killer Trees, he will do a percentile damage to us and kill all of his spawns. So that helps us get this set up. We can make this happen every other time, as long as the person who gets hit by his teardown has 97 health. They will have exactly enough health. They will have exactly enough health to survive the Killer Trees turn. Killer Trees does do percentile damage, but it will kill under a certain health value. So we make sure that Pangorma, our only guy low enough to even care about that, is safe. But we're just gonna go through this for 2 more times, essentially. This song's also a banger.
It is really good.
Yeah, this game is made by 2 people. Mason Lindroth, who's the lead developer, and Chuck Solomon, who did most of, if not all of the music. I think they kind of work on the music together, but Chuck is kind of the lead on it, and it's good. So we're okay. Everybody gets kind of hurt, but we're fine. We're gonna re-up our statuses. Yeah, something weird's happening with this fight. Not that it's not weird as in like it's too scary for us right now, but something weird is happening with the way this works. It's not working the way it normally did. There's probably more to explain right now than necessary, but basically we're just re-upping our damage over times. We're gonna heal with the Dusmol, and every other turn we heal with the Dusmol. And we've been getting these items from the fights we've been doing called Cloud Germs. They're a full heal and a 50% will, which is like the mana of this game's refresh. So it's super strong item for us. And then we'll see what we're at. I think we're gonna be okay. It kind of only matters for like the very last turn. You get the meat computer poke of death. And then we'll see what health value he's at. He's gonna have a decent amount of health still, I think. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. He's low enough. So he's gonna use Killer Trees one more time, but we're able to finish him off here without him spawning any more minions. But we're gonna have to use an item that I love. It's called Pool Wine. We got from the fight when we got Samsnosa. It applies a status called Mania. These two are going to defend, which gives the person who gets the mania status an attack buff, but as soon as they attack, they fall asleep afterwards. But we just make it so that Pangorma's lightning attack is going to do more than enough to end Gibby here. And just like that, the final boss is down. We've got like about a minute before we end here. All it is kind of like a formality of running to the end. But we destroy his castle. All of the meat flies all over the place. We've saved the day. The squad has done it again. Now all that's left is to go push a button and celebrate. What's fun about the Hylics games is when you get to the end here, there's actually, even in the first and this game, there's a little stage that you can play instruments on and like play all this stuff. It's very fun. I'm not going to sit here and dwell too much on it because we're like just going to come in here right at like right around the nick of time, I guess. So let's just get to the end. Time is coming up in about 5 seconds when I jump on this button up here, and time.
Heck yeah.
Not too bad, other than the guy trolling me right at the beginning. If that didn't happen, this would have been a stellar marathon run. But, you know, we got to make it interesting. Just like this cutscene. This cutscene is just random nonsense happening. It's pretty fun to watch.
I love it. I love the art style of this game so much. I love the claymation.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Like I said, claymation scan models, stop motion animation, and pixel art, and some one little tidbit that's interesting about the combat, or all of the hands you see, is actually like the developer's hand. Like he puts his arm through a cardboard, green screen color cardboard, and does all the hand animations himself.
That's awesome.
So it's actually, there's so much cool stuff about this game. You just learn more and more about it.
Well, thank you, RJ, for this awesome run and this really cool game and introducing it to a bunch of people. I love the quirkiness and the look and everything. It's really neat.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. If anybody's interested in learning the run or just talking about the game in general, we have our speedrun Discord that you can find on the speedrun.com page. It's a small community, but we're very passionate about the game and love talking about it. So if you're interested, come find me anywhere on my socials or Twitch channel. It's just at rjsmangit, which is on the screen, I believe.
Yes.
So anywhere that you can find me, come talk about it. I love talking about this game. I can't get enough of it.